Hello and welcome to the August Patreon episode of Divisive Issues. And I think it's time to kickstart Edgelord August, right guys?
Yeah, you bet.
Good choice.
This coincidentally is kicking off Edgelord August. We didn't pick it specifically to be edgy, but you know what? Why not? We're going to talk about some Tom King Batman.
We had such a successful run with him so far. We gotta continue.
Do you know
Yeah.
what's funny, actually, is when you guys recommended this comic, I was reading it, and halfway through, I'm like, this is the same fucking Heroes in Crisis shitty writing that I'm used to. And I looked up, and I'm like, lo and behold.
Oh, you didn't know it was Tom King before you
I didn't
jumped
know. I'm reading it, and I'm like, this is literally the same ass dialogue.
Yeah, so here's a Crisis dialogue meets Flashpoint plot.
in? Yep.
Yeah, so we're
That's
covering Batman, the Rebirth Batman title issues 45, 46, 47, titled The Gift.
All right, so this is back when Tom King was considered good. This is back when he had all the whole roll on the side. He had New York Times saying how good his run was and how nuanced it was, and so this is like 5 issues before the wedding.
Yes.
Fucked everything up, and everyone started hating him finally. It's funny because Ryan told us about the story saying, "Oh, this run started going a bit downhill after Booster going back in time and killed Batman's parents." I'm like, what?
Yeah, so I remember I was really loving King's Batman up to this point. So this is like 40 some odd issues, and in modern comics that's a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like pretty into it, and I remember reading the story and being like, that was weird. I don't think that was very good. And I went to a signing that Joe was doing, old friend of the show, Joe. And I started talking about it, and I was like describing the plot, and all of a sudden Joe and I had this realization. They're like, this is terrible. Like, because I think just because I was reading it like monthly, like spread out while I was like still reading like Mr. Miracle, which like is a pretty universally praised Tom King book. And like, it didn't sit with me just how terrible it was until I was thinking about it later. I was like, yeah, maybe this run is like, I don't know. This was like his first miss. And in like the 6 months after this, everybody I know turned on this book and was like, this book's really bad now.
In our group chat, I had compared him to that. I feel like Tom King's becoming a Mark Millar for us, where it's like everyone talks about how like good they are, and we're sitting down and as we're reading the bad material from them, it's like, have they always been bad? Has this just always not been?
You tell me
good?
people like him. Prove it to me. I won't. I don't believe you. Like this, he's a shitty writer.
This happens a lot. Like, I think probably has something to do with the amount of workload new up and coming writers get. There's always like this new hot writer. Everyone's like, this guy's the best. But then if you read like 90% of the material like after the first 6 months, it's mostly trash. Like this happened to like Jeff Lemire and like even Zack Snyder to an extent. Like a lot of
I
writers.
think you mean Scott Schneider, but
Schneider writes the comics, like one makes the movies.
yeah.
But
I mean, I guess it also happened with Zack Schneider, the film guy too.
the guy we talked about for Death of X and Death of Wolverine,
Charles Soule.
yeah, Carl Soule. His best writing was like his first She-Hulk book, and everything else has been kind of mediocre for that. Like a lot of times it happens. Like a writer will write one good book, and they'll be given a lot of other books, and they'll never be as good ever again.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you jump onto the scene, like you write stuff that it's your new voice at the time, and people can be like, I really like this aspect, like the way Tom King his characters keep like mumbling and talking on. It's like it can work if it's done for certain characters. Where you're like, that's really cool how he does this, but then when you're reading it from Booster Gold's mouth, you're like, stop this. Don't do
and
this.
one of the things too is I think when new writers come on, it's a combination of they're put on more like D-list books without as many concepts to juggle.
Yeah.
And also they're not as given as much free reign because like editorials like, we don't want you coming in and like messing up Superman right away. So like Tom King was on Vision and the book was like huge and groundbreaking and like did all these radical new concepts for Vision. Same thing with like Mr. Miracle. But then when it's like, let's give you the keys to Batman, sometimes then a lot of writers are like, ooh, I'm going to tell the Batman story I've had in my head since I was 12.
Yep.
Where not as many 12-year-olds are like, I can't wait to write about the Vision.
Yeah, even nowadays, Vision is still not like, even though like all the characters show up in the movies, he's still like a Z-lister probably.
Yeah,
those guys.
I wouldn't buy a Vision comic.
Yeah.
Me either.
So we're gonna get into the gift, which is,
Oh my
is
God,
it,
I don't even want to do this.
No,
It's
you
so
have
fucking
to.
Bad.
we were arguing. We're recording 52 after this. We were arguing over where we want to do it, and Ryan and Daryl were saying, "Oh, this will be fun." While we have Phil on
Yeah.
my side saying, "No, this is painful. Let's get this out of the way right
No, but
now."
now it's gonna sour me on 52 because I'm like, fuck Booster Gold, fuck this comic, fuck DC.
Too bad. We're getting
so,
into
okay,
this.
it opens with a very heartfelt scene, right, Daryl? That immediately gets us to
Wait,
love our characters.
you have to talk about that ad before it even starts.
See the cover. You have to see the cover. The covers are very important to this fucking setup. It's fucking
Yeah.
Silver Age style covers.
It's Batman saying
Yeah.
Booster Gold must die over the
Yeah.
Gotham City below. So you're like, why does he have to die? And then what ad, Phil? The Flash one?
Yeah, the like second page is like there can be only one fastest man alive, and it's two Flashes fighting, and I'm like, this sucks. And then Ryan's like, oh, that's actually a really good comic. Flash 4 is great.
the best Flash comic since 2007, right, Ryan?
Yeah, probably.
Oh fuck.
Anyway, it
Oh,
starts,
God forbid there's two characters. We have two non-fans on the show and people aren't confused.
it starts with a really great scene of just Hal Jordan talking to Booster Gold saying like, hey, guess what? You want to see me kill myself with my ring? Check this out. And then he does it.
Yeah.
And the dialogue again is like, it's if you listen to our Heroes in Crisis stuff, this writing is always just like snarky, crazy people just saying like, huh, you dare me? You do dare me, huh? You want to see? I'll do
Yeah.
it. And then he just shoots himself, and he's like,
Yeah.
you need a lot of will, right? I have a lot of will.
Set this
And-
fragment over and over again.
Yeah.
And then Booster goes, that was intense, seriously intense, but also admittedly a little bit, or kind of, awesome. I was like, what? Hal Jordan literally killed himself in front of you. Like, what?
It's so like that. What? How? What?
Yeah.
The thing about Tom King's writing is, I think like Booster Gold's supposed to be mentally unhinged during the story. Like that's clearly like an intent, but his writing is so shitty. It is so hard to get across immediately whether a character is just really stupid, really unhinged, or I don't know, just trying to be really snarky.
No, it's everyone in this and at least in these 3 issues. I know he's trying to set up this weird alternate reality timeline thing, but like everyone talks the same exact way.
Yeah, but I
Where they
think
say
I
three
think
words.
they're all supposed to be different. Like they're talking the same exact way for different reasons. Like Booster's very scattered because I think he's mentally unhinged.
He's
but,
very
But
scattered.
it's so similar to people who are mentally healthy in the story that makes no fucking difference.
It's also so dumb because if Booster's supposed to be like mentally unhinged, this is the first Booster story in a while, and like Tom King is supposedly, I guess, setting up Heroes in Crisis here because he references this story in Booster's plot in Heroes in Crisis.
Yep.
But like, so then why does this story exist? Because if Booster's already like this, then he doesn't have to do this to set up Heroes in Crisis.
It's to show
So, like,
how far he's fallen. He's willing to
I
kill Batman's
don't-
parents.
It makes me wonder if in the beginning Tom King makes it that he wants to be like, he starts as dumb and then he gets unhinged and starts to turn like crazy as it goes on.
No, he's crazy
that was his
immediately.
intention.
Yeah, he's saying
Yeah.
Green Lantern killing himself is cool.
But I'm saying,
Also,
like,
yeah,
that was
that's-
maybe the intention was to have it look dumb initially and then turn into, like, psychopathy.
Whatever it's supposed to be, it's bad.
Yeah. Also, a question. I'm assuming this is the first time Booster showed up in this run too.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What a
Oh,
fucking
really?
terrible idea!
Oh
Terrible-
wow! I assumed he'd been set up as crazy for a bit now and been
Yeah,
Nope.
that's what blows my mind because we were like, this is a great way to enter Batman. Imagine reading Batman, the story about this guy in Gotham City, and then seeing this time traveling superhero say, "I just killed your parents, and now I'm going to kill your parents again" or something. What the fuck?
Yeah, Booster's appearances have been very, very scattershot for like years now. So like this is pretty much like out of nowhere.
Anyway,
52 had just won me over to him too.
The premise of these 3 comics is basically Booster has gone back in time, he saved Batman's parents, and then he went to the future because it's
Well, you have
like,
to say he saved Batman's parents as a wedding gift to Batman.
yes. Oh yeah, Batman's getting married to Catwoman, just FYI.
He explicitly calls out the name of the story. This is like I guess like inversion or something of an Alan Moore Superman story called
It's
For
an
the Man
edgelord.
Who-
It's like an edgelord version of an Alan Moore.
Yeah,
already an
'cause-
edgy Alan Moore writer.
Yeah, because and Booster exposits this later on, but the premise of that story, and it's like one of the most beloved Superman stories ever, is that Superman is like infected with this parasitic plant that makes him think that it's like his perfect world where he's on Krypton that never exploded. And through that and being with his family, Superman realizes that like this perfect idealized version of this world that didn't exist couldn't ever exist, and that his life is better for being able to help people on Earth than being just another citizen on Krypton. And it's like this like character defining story. So Tom King's like, what if we did that for Batman, but Booster's lesson that he learns is I'm gonna go back and save Batman's parents so that he realizes that the world would be better if they were dead.
Yeah, because the world needs a Batman, essentially.
Yeah, and also, we bring this up and explaining in detail. This is all explained in one page. Like, if your dog, like, got hold of your copy of this comic and ate that page, you never have any idea what's fucking happening in this comic.
Also, that story came out like 30 years ago. It's like not necessarily something a new fan would know.
Yeah.
I also really hate in every shitty time travel DC event we've read how much you save these parents and what happens to this world. No, it's more than butterfly effect. It's like oh well, the dinosaurs didn't get extinct, so then it's
the
like
whole integrity of the, like I said with fucking Flash, the whole integrity of the DC universe depends on Flash's mom dying. His mom dying saves everyone.
like it's so Gotham is so bad in this alternate reality that everyone is becoming the Joker. Batman
not
is
just Gotham. The Penguin
world.
is the president of America.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul rules Eurasia.
Yep,
Like
yep.
he rules both Asia and Europe. I'm like, how did not like he's not strong enough to fight Superman.
somehow Batman's parents stopped Europe and Asia from becoming one mega continent country.
I think the
Batman
implication
did.
is
That's
that
the
Batman
idea.
did.
Because
No,
this-
but like, there's a Batman universe, but the fact it's not Bruce Wayne as Batman,
Yeah, it's Dick Grayson.
fucks up everything.
it's Dick Grayson, and you're like, how did Dick even become Batman? He's not scared of bats.
Yes, this is why Flashpoint was stupid too. There's like this weird assumption of DC now. I always assume Batman was a very personal character decision for Bruce Wayne, his phobia of bats and stuff like that. But no, apparently there's an aura around the Wayne family. Anyone related to them that makes anyone become Batman.
Related to that.
But yeah, it's like a fated thing, like fucking whatever crisis we read where they're like, there's always going to be a Luthor and there's always going to be a Superman.
Yeah,
they're always going to hate
Infinite
each other.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it sounds like we're just throwing these things scattershot. That's the way it is. They will just, in a dialogue, be like, President Cobblepot is fighting Al Ghul's Eurasia. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, here's a dialogue dump, here's some concepts, see you later.
And it's like a dystopian hellscape where
There's like a Joker virus going around that's jokering people.
That's why Hal Jordan killed himself.
Yeah, he was jokered.
and also they throw in how dystopian it is just through natural dialogue with people at work being like, yeah, some Joker was murdering people on the bus and we all pulled out our guns and tried to shoot him and we shot other people. I guess that's life.
Stabbed this lady in her face. It was gross. She was screaming. I was going to use my gun, but another guy had his out first. Then he shot the Joker a bunch of times. He also shot this other lady. I think it was by accident. Thanks, Tom.
This could be literally any Tom King character.
It's like the third time this month. It's stupid.
No.
And it's some guy in a cubicle expositing this to Tim Drake, who's never in the
It's
story.
literally Tom King.
I didn't even get it.
That is Tom King.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was like, okay, so this world's messed up because not Robins aren't even Robin. Anyway, we see Dick Grayson as Batman. He shoots Booster Gold on the roof because Booster's waiting at the bat signal for him, and he's just like unhinged.
Because everyone knows the thing about Dick Grayson is Bruce Wayne is the one that softened his edge.
Well, you have to say his great dialogue.
Die.
Move and die?
No, he says, "You're a superhero in my city. You could be Jokered, so I'm gonna kill you before you're Jokered." This is like the best writer of DC at the time.
And also, what's great is I really enjoyed the dialogue between Booster and Skeets and like the OMAC stuff and whatever. Here,
and in 52, where it's like, yes, sir. It's like, that was brilliant.
Tom King needs to stop writing fucking humor. He is not fucking funny. This. I actually cringe while reading this fucking book because I feel embarrassed for Tom King. Like
he's like, Booster's like, you're a nag. He's like, I'm not a nag. I am just. And then he's getting shot. And he's like, you are nagging me right now while I'm being shot. And he's like, I'm not nagging. And he's like, nag, nag, nag. And like literally, Batman's trying to kill him. And then he's like, we should get a
this is a running joke. Ski says, I say we should get him a cheese tray. And Booster's like, he got mad, she doesn't need a cheese tray. And Ski says, I don't know, perhaps he needs to cut the cheese.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Best. Booster points it out, and Ski says, no, please, Booster, you're above that. And Booster says, am I?
About cutting the cheese.
Yeah, then Booster starts sticking his tongue out, saying, "Bruce wedding night, cutting the cheese. I love you, Bat. Oh yes, I love you, Cat. No some." Like, this is the dialogue.
Oh
We're not
my
fucking
God.
exaggerating. That's not me making
No,
shit
but
up.
it's supposed to show how unhinged he is.
It's so dumb.
Anyway, Batman and him fight a little bit more, and then he flies away, and he's like, I have to go find Batman and Bruce Wayne instead of Batman now.
And this is
Yeah.
the main thing we get out of these scenes is that Dick Grayson as Batman is so edgy and he uses a rifle and he hangs people
He
up
has
by
grenades,
like
yeah.
nooses and
Just to interrupt for a second. This character called Dooku seems to be lobotomized. Is he a character from Tom King's Run?
wait, who?
This guy.
There's a black guy named Dookie.
Oh, Duke is a Scott Snyder character that he's actually great. He was like one of like part of the Bat family at this point, but like it's just he has brain damage for this one page and is never mentioned again.
I know. I bring it up because like, what the fuck? Like, if you don't know who this character is, you're like, what?
Oh, there's so many. There's like Jason Todd is selling electroshock tires and gets arrested for killing kids. Like there's all these cuts of just like why.
I love
Who cares?
It
this
just shows
fucking
how bad
dialogue.
it is if he's not Batman. Anyway, Bruce Wayne's dancing with his mother at like a ball, and then Booster Gold crashes through and he goes, "Hey, Batman!" Skeets is like Bruce Wayne. He's like, "Hey, Bruce Wayne, I got you a present."
Oh yeah, and so the situation here is really weird because it ends with Booster Gold breaking through the window. Then it cuts to Talia and Ra's al Ghul fighting, like doing each other, and
for
she's
no
like,
reason.
For no reason. Let's just establish nothing.
And then
We already-
what
No,
do we
no,
get?
it's to establish that he's how
Not
he's
gonna
like,
have
give me an
kids.
heir, and she's like, I'm not having an heir because she has an heir with Batman, and since she's never met Batman, she's never gonna have babies with anyone ever.
Does that matter for the sake of this plot?
And then what do we get? Yeah, we get a 9-panel grid of Booster expositing about his feelings, but this time it's to Bruce Wayne instead of to Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, and this is why I was confused because I thought he was doing this in front of the wedding party. Like the transitioning was so weird. Like a page transition is not enough
Yeah.
to really establish.
Also, like, why would Bruce Wayne go with this guy into
Yes.
a back room?
Yeah, there's a sequence of events that should happen between a random guy breaking into your window and you go to a back room with him privately.
I feel like the page transition stuff is like that's a Tom King staple. Like he likes doing just one page of something and then flipping to another scene or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he talks to Bruce and he's like, he lets him know that he saved his parents to show him how bad this world is if he's not Batman, so it should be good that his parents are dead. And Batman's like, I knew that there was something wrong. I had like visions of it. And then he's like, anyway, I love my parents, so he smashes with a fire poker. He smashes Skeets and he's like, get out.
It's like the classic scene in Batman '89 where he's like, "You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's get
It's
nuts.
cool- It's a cool homage." I don't think
There's
that's on
another
purpose.
cool homage coming up.
It would be cool if he actually said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he smashes Skeets and he's like, "Fuck you, Booster. I'm gonna go hang out with my parents."
Yep. Next issue, it's a year later, and Booster decides to go break out Catwoman out of Gotham Penitentiary, or like the asylum.
One thing important to note: Catwoman does not have any dialogue for the rest of this book. She just
does.
says meow
It's
and purr.
meow and meow and meow.
My problem is not with that because the dialogue is clearly here to establish that she's unhinged and Booster's too fucking obsessed with fixing the world now to realize it. My problem is that she's drawn really sexy for someone who's clearly insane.
Yeah.
You can have sexy insane people.
I know, but like the basic competence of like if you had a movie like a horror movie, like if in a movie. In movies, everyone has to look sexy, right? But they always have like makeup or something to make it clear like this character's unhinged. Like there's a visible audio cue, but she looks like she's Catwoman, and she starts putting out leather outfits and looking and being in sexy poses.
Also, she's been in a straitjacket in an asylum for presumably like years, and she has her hair perfect and all her
Perfect
makeup done.
mascara.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Like,
Yeah.
like there's visual cues to convey a character's insane. This comic, if there was only panels, no dialogue, you couldn't tell at all. It just looks like
Yeah.
Catwoman's here. It's
Yeah.
really
And we
shitty.
immediately get this exposition that Batman's dad like had her committed to like take her out of
She's
the
a
picture
serial
for some
killer?
reason. So yeah, she's a serial killer that he had locked away forever, and someone's still here like keeping her, you know, super pretty looking. And then like we immediately get a bunch of cuts of like her in underwear. Like it's weird.
It's pajamas, kind of. And it's Booster Gold just exposing to her. It's like, hey, guess what? Batman loves you. We'll show him.
Oh, and then Tom King fucking jerks himself off and recaps his own previous story, where he's like, "Yeah, there was this story that like love fixes everything with Harley and Ivy. Tom King wrote that. He's great. It's such a great story."
Oh, I thought it was just like
I,
making something else.
I love that stuff because whenever Tom King explains like one of his plots, it always sounds so fucking stupid.
Yeah, because the world was taken over by Poison Ivy, and they had to get Harley.
Yeah.
Anyway, because love finds a way, and all you have is love, and love is here to stay. And then Batman will see that, and here he can't, but there he can. He has to, or he will. So it's clear. It's Booster's like beard keeps growing out too, so he is getting like crazier. And then
You can have a beard and be not crazy.
We get a shot of Catwoman looking.
No, it's because his beard's so unkempt.
Yeah,
Okay.
each issue he gets a more unkempt beard and he gets skinnier.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's reverse sexism. The men are allowed to get unkempt. But the
Oh yeah,
women
and
aren't.
so they have a full splash page of she's basically wearing Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman gear now, like to try to like trigger Batman's like subconscious love for her. And that's what I mean by her being oddly sexy, because she's just showing her ass to the viewer. And like if you didn't, if you showed this panel out of context, you wouldn't know like she's insane or anything. It's just like
She's
Catwoman.
also eating a mouse.
Yeah.
It's just weird to bring back the Michelle Pfeiffer like Catwoman suit for this. I'm like, this is purely fan service. There's no other than maybe it's like
If it was well written, I would buy it because Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman was like the only version of Catwoman if she was actually mentally ill. But like the story's so shit that like doesn't use that at all. Like
Basically, he just says, like, you know, Blue Beetle, my best friend Ted Cord could sew, and we would fix each other's costumes, but I can't sew, but I made you this costume.
Yeah, and
I
he
feel
also
like-
says they all died. The super people, the Ted's dead. It's like, because I having read that story now, I'm like, this is your way of servicing it by just having him say the Ted's dead.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Oh, poor Blue Beetle.
Also, like, he says he can barely sew, but I feel like making a perfectly
It's so
fit
good.
skin-tight leather suit is difficult.
I assume they found
Michelle Pfeiffer
some-
had fucking costume designers working on it to make it fit around her, and not.
I thought she was gonna be wearing like rags or something, but it's like
Yeah.
a full superhero suit.
Yeah. Anyway, Batman comes, he's chasing after them, and he's saying, Booster Gold, die. Catwoman, die.
Wait, Batman's dad has a heart attack.
Yeah, his
It,
dad. had
it
a
doesn't
heart
matter
attack.
because he ends up getting killed anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was a fake out to make it seem like this was true and Bruce, but
Also,
he never
it's-
does.
Yeah.
Spoilers, never does. And
It's like there's like these filler panels that I don't understand. Like the doctor's like, Wayne family, if you'll come with
yeah.
me. And she's like, what's wrong? And he's like,
Bruce's
just follow
mom.
me. And she's like, we don't, yeah, Bruce's mom. And she's like, we don't follow anyone. We're the Waynes of Gotham. You will tell us. And he's like, he's fine. Like, why would it? Why
It's a
would
whole
this happen?
page.
yeah, and
why would it go that way?
there's a seed of some potential here in terms of human psychology. Because the idea is that basically the world's going to shit, but Bruce and his family are like, the world is trash, but we have each other. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we're
So,
Richie
like,
Richers. Like, we'll survive this, so we
And
are
that's a-
all
that's
that
a- that's a-
matters.
And that's a common sentiment in humanity that look out for you and your own and
Yep.
fuck the rest of the world. Well, Batman not having a family made him more
Care
protective.
about everyone in the city
Yeah.
that didn't have families and stuff.
It comes across really weird to me though, because we're supposed to like, I think we're supposed to buy a little bit into like that Bruce loves his family and his life so much that he won't sacrifice it.
Yep.
But every time we see his parents, they come across as like really egomaniacal, total pieces of shit.
I think these are purposely supposed to be fake outs to make you think that there'll be a turning point, but there
Yeah.
never is. So it's just
Oh,
wait,
okay.
but it feels like wasted pages because of that, because
So-
this comic is so fucking short.
So Batman is chasing, Dick Grayson Batman is chasing Booster Gold and Catwoman. They fly over to the Wayne estate where like Bruce Wayne's hanging out with his mom and dad, and then Booster Gold goes, "Hey everybody, guess what's coming? Meet cute!" And he unleashes Catwoman in. She goes up and cuts Alfred's throat and kills him.
Which is fucking weird because she didn't do it to fucking like she didn't even try to do that Booster. Like why?
She
Because-
hates the Waynes, I think. She hates.
Well, Booster does have a force field, so who knows?
I guess it was just fake out the reader, like cheating as a
Yeah.
fucking writer to not show that he was trying to kill Booster before this, but
Yeah.
he
Yes.
probably could have gotten away with that.
And Thomas Wayne reveals that he closed the orphanage she grew up in, so she would be locked away forever. It's weird.
Oh yeah, so this means in terms of hierarchy, Harley Quinn is greater than Booster Gold, but Booster Gold is greater than Catwoman. So keep that in mind. Harley Quinn can go through his force field, but not Catwoman.
Yeah. So Catwoman jumps on the dad and starts murdering him, and then Batman shoots Catwoman. and
Batman,
then-
not Bruce Wayne, but
Yeah.
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson shoots, and then you get like a 9-panel page of just everyone killing each other. Batman
like,
shoots
I
people.
love how fucking like it's so fucking like just edgy for the sake of edgy, because Batman comes in, he shoots like he's been around killing superheroes, like they established that he'd been killing superheroes for a while.
Yeah.
He walks up to Catwoman point blank just so she can cut off his fingers. Like, why is he so fucking stupid all of a sudden? Just so the plot can continue to kill people in the story.
Bruce Wayne then shoots Batman in the head, and as Batman shoots Bruce Wayne's mom and Catwoman, and then
Yeah, so Batman, after all this time, Batman gets taken out by a fucking crazy woman in a cat suit and an old family.
Yep, and everyone's dead except Booster. He passed out from gas, and he's like, "Did I do it? I'm the hero. I always have to do it. I saved the world."
And it ends with the panel of Bruce like yelling up to the sky, surrounded by his dead parents, but he's not a kid. He's like an old man.
Yeah,
Not an old man.
no.
issue. Oh man, one more issue left.
So one more issue left. For my parents to live, I must kill Booster Gold is on the cover. We got a nice throwback to 2 issues ago. And it's him throwing Booster off a roof, which he can fly, so it doesn't matter.
So we haven't dealt with this enough because it's so stupid. There's so much to talk about. Is Booster Gold like old Booster Gold in this story, or is he like a rebooted Booster Gold? Ryan?
He's a reboot of Booster Gold.
Okay, because I'm like, he should fucking know by now. Like, he's so oblivious to time travel. He's like, I'm going to, as a wedding gift, I'm going to fuck up the timeline just to teach Batman a lesson.
So this is the problem, and I'll keep this very brief. The problem with Booster post Flashpoint is that Flashpoint ends in the Booster Gold ongoing series. Spoilers for that, I guess, is that it ends with him being the only person who remembers pre-Flashpoint, and him that's how his series ends. Is like he's gonna be like the protector of the new timeline. From the
so he's gonna be the new Psycho Pirate.
Sure, yeah,
Good
sure.
reference, Daryl.
What a very
I get your
I'm
reference.
very proud of you, Daryl.
Yeah.
So, but like, and that as him as like the Doctor Who of the DC universe, like going through the multiverse and like fixing all the things was a really, really great status quo for him, and him being like the keeper of the old continuity was very interesting. But then DC rebooted him and were like, he's really young, and people were like, so this is during the New 52, and people were like, well, which is it? And then like old Booster showed up,
Oh my
and there was 2
God.
boosters, and like, but the problem is this didn't happen in an ongoing book. They would throw it in these like one shots that were never even collected anywhere. So like at this point, I think it's just pure reboot Booster. But I don't know why Tom King, if he's going to have him be this young, immature Booster, which is a lot of people's defense of Heroes in Crisis, he's still talking about how, like, Blue Beetle was his friend who's dead, and, like, it doesn't make sense, because, also, when this book came out, Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, was alive with his own book. Like, I don't think Tom King has any idea what's going on.
What's
because
happening in comics
Also,
anymore?
if he never was on Justice League International, how the fuck is he friends with Blue Beetle?
But, yeah, and that's the thing is, like, DC fixed pretty much all their continuity, but Tom King just like doesn't get it because like
guys, the Ted's dead.
Ted's dead. But he's alive, but it's also reboot Booster, so we shouldn't know Ted's dead.
that's what I'm
This is
saying,
the
is-
problem with the 52 in general. DC
What
wants
a
to have their
mess.
cake. DC wanted to have their cake and eat it too, so some stuff would still happen. Like, they still want the Identity Crisis to happen, but they changed so much around it that you can never read it and have it make sense in the new continuity.
But the thing is, in Rebirth, which is when this book takes place, everything was fixed, and literally every book I've read from this era has pretty airtight continuity, except Tom King, who just keeps fucking it up. He's the only writer that can't keep it straight, and it's so weird.
They
to
don't
me.
have people who like check and make sure that it fits. with
Editors?
Editors have so much less power than the big shot writer.
Also,
if you have a name and you're a writer in DC, you can make fucking Batman shit his pants and lick ass or something like that. Like,
Well,
doesn't fucking
Kevin
matter.
Smith did have Batman piss his pants.
Yeah.
but what I'm saying here is like this goes back to what we said at the very beginning is that Tom King was all of a sudden getting like this New York Times praise and like non-comic fans are reading all his books and everything, that I think they just let him do whatever they want, where editors in every other book that they were publishing were like super tight about it, and it was like a big positive thing for DC. It was the best era they've had in like 10 years almost. And then Tom King's just like, but what if I am just bad?
It's funny because Tom King kind of shadowed that era in general with Heroes in Crisis too.
Yeah.
So
anyway, final issue.
Yeah, final issue. It's 1 year later, and Bruce Wayne is rebooting Skeets. But the thing is, so Bruce Wayne wants to go back in time 1 year to save his parents. And he needs a time-traveling robot like Skeets to do that, which Booster had, like, spilled the beans on. So he needs to go find Booster because Skeets only listens to Booster's voice, who's, like, locked in an underground cave?
I love how Booster is fucking. He's supposed to be like malnourished because he's been kept a prisoner, but he still has fucking muscles, like skinny muscles. Like, wow.
Yeah, he's still... He's
And he
still
has a huge beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a built Ellen Moore.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what's useful of this, because it's a lot of like Booster and Bruce Wayne talking to each other. It's a lot of just dialogue of them talking. Where was this stupid line? Because Booster ends up, he's like, take me back 1 year before my parents died. And it's like, okay, Skeets, let's go back 10 minutes before Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. And then he winks at Skeets. And then Bruce Wayne's like, did you just wink? Skeets, why did you wink? I didn't wink. You winked. I saw you. No. I mean, yes. I'm like, it goes on for the whole page. And you're
It's
like, what's happening?
So fucking terrible.
I feel like Tom King watched a lot of Seinfeld and was like, what if this was comics, though?
What if it was? So
So don't listen on Seinfeld, Ryan.
Oh, no. I'm a big Seinfeld fan. It works in a sitcom. Does not
No,
work.
I don't think Tom King could write Seinfeld if his life depended on it.
Because he's not funny.
Yeah. So he takes him back to 10 minutes before Bruce Wayne is a little boy. His parents get murdered in the alley. And he's like trying to explain to him that was the plan, was to like show you about like, you know, now your parents gotta die because now you'll be good.
I love how like this is the same, because I keep thinking, oh, it's a different dimension or universe, but it's not. It's like literally in a few years of his parents not dying, the whole world just falls into absolute chaos. This is the same timeline, just
like,
before.
Like, remember we talked about with Flashpoint, like, Aquaman becomes a fucking tyrannical mass murderer just because Flash's mom died. Like, Catwoman goes insane and goes a serial killer just because Bruce Wayne's parents didn't die. Like, wow.
I can't.
To me, that really, like, obviously the Waynes would do a lot of damage to Gotham if they didn't die.
Yeah.
No,
I know, but like,
they
you're
destroy the
raging,
world.
the president, the fucking Joker would take over every superhero in the world. Like, Superman's fucked if Batman's parents died.
So anyway, he's trying to stop Bruce Wayne from shooting him, and then Booster Gold shows up from another timeline, right?
It's the Booster Gold.
I want to point out that people were defending this fucking article when it came out, saying, "Oh, it fixes the Batman timeline because why did Thomas Wayne go to that dark alley when he could just take the street?" And it says, "Oh, it's because when they were fighting,
They
Bruce
heard
Wayne's-
gunfire from Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne fighting Booster, so they went into the dark alley instead.
Yeah,
of
the
the
way
street.
it was always intended when Bill Finger and Bob Kane wrote that. Those many
The
decades
Booster
ago.
that shows up is the Booster who saved Batman's parents.
Yep.
And now they're trying to unsave Batman's parents. Like, I can't believe how much this happens in comics. They gotta unsave someone's parents.
Does the timeline make sense to you? Like, how is he saving the parents? If this
So this is the Booster who came back and was like, I'm gonna do the wedding gift, right? I'm gonna
Yep.
save Batman's parents.
Yes.
Then they went back to that time. So now the Booster who already went through that shitty
Oh.
timeline is encountering the Booster who's just showing up to save the parents. And he's like, "Hey, you did it! You saved the parents. Now now you want me to unsave the parents, right?"
Yeah.
And
I
then
lost
he gets
track of
shot.
I lost track of which Booster Gold was which. Okay,
Yeah,
It
me
doesn't
too.
really
It's because they
matter.
fucking shave him right before this.
yeah, what
do that.
Why? He had a clear visual indicator of which one is this. Does Tom King know anything about visual indicators in comics? Does he know the medium at all?
Anyway, one of the boosters gets shot. Who knows who?
It's
And then-
the Booster who showed up who was gonna save the parents gets shot.
And then
So-
I have a chart on my wall where I outlined all this. I'm like, this guy is the ghost of here, and this guy.
So Thomas and Martha Wayne end up getting shot by the criminal, and then as Bruce Wayne sees this from above the alleyway, he's like, he can't believe it. And as little kid Bruce Wayne is screaming, grown man Bruce Wayne is screaming, and he puts a gun to his head and he kills himself in front of Booster Gold, and the blood splatters on his visor.
Echoing the opening scene.
Yep, as he says, "We saved the world."
So what does it say about fucking Bruce Wayne? Like, if his mommy and daddy didn't die when he was younger, he'll kill himself by being too reliant on them when he's older?
I don't know.
I guess.
I think he spent the last year trying to save his parents and hunt down this guy, and then I guess to see them get murdered anyway is traumatic.
Yep.
It's weird because the time jump does not make it feel like a year has passed by at all.
Yeah.
It's also one of the weird things with me in like alternate universe stories or like alternate timelines is that the shadow reflection of them, like the future self or the other universe self, never quite feels like them. It feels like them in like their darkest state,
Yeah.
where they're like, "I'm a murderer."
But that weakens any fucking like any reason for doing it because it weakens like any
Yeah.
connection you have to this character.
Like, this story could have been, if it was more grounded, where it's like, Bruce, look, you have this great life, and like he had to make the choice to give up this like great world to have a slightly better world. It would be more impactful than like literally the most unimaginably evil world. Like, obviously your parents have to die.
I gotta bring you back in time, so you have to watch it and then kill yourself. And then the comic ends with him telling this to Batman and Catwoman, and doing the thing, if you listen to our Heroes in Crisis, about how his glasses can't get clean because he keeps seeing the blood splot on them from
the old
that.
Lady Macbeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You see it too, right?"
Just imagine you're fucking Batman. If you're Catwoman, like if you're Batman, like you deal with shit all the time. Like Catwoman's relatively a normal character.
This must be why she didn't get married to him.
Yeah, he's just like, wow, fuck this. Like, a time travel future comes to you saying, I killed your parents and they did all this shit, and now I need you to forgive me for all this shit I did. And Batman's just like, what do you say to this? Like, how?
No, I saved
what can
your parents, and Catwoman killed your parents in that
Like,
timeline.
what can Batman and Catwoman say to make at this point, like even to like make Booster Gold go away. Like,
They say nothing. They literally say not a word. They just watch him ramble, and then he's like, "You see it too, right?" And that's how it ends. And it's like, you got to get this guy help, like immediately.
Yeah.
He cannot be trusted with time travel powers. Obviously.
yes.
I do.
Yeah, how is he still time travel capable of this? Like Batman should have been like, okay, Booster, you're your straight jacket,
This is
like
Skeets.
okay, it'll be okay.
No one's gonna take Skeets
Can
away
I-
from him. What?
I feel like the Patreon is a safe space for me to be a little bit more of a fanboy than usual.
Sure.
One thing I just want to say why I fucking hate this story so much is because from a continuity perspective, and obviously Tom King likes to reference Booster's history. He talks a lot about the TED and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Booster and Batman for decades have had this really interesting dynamic, and one of the reasons why is because when Booster was time traveling a lot, and this is going to be like super continuity bullshit or whatever, but Batman, he approaches Booster like after 52, and he says to him like, I have found evidence that you have tried to like help my like people that I care about throughout history, but because the timeline was set, like, you know, that like you try to kill Hitler, but then something always happens, you end up creating Hitler.
Yeah.
And Batman finds like a bunch of evidence that like Booster was there to try to stop Barbara Gordon from getting crippled, and he's like, you're a good person even if you don't have the powers to actually do all the good you want to do. And referencing some of Booster's continuity, but then like ignoring any of the actual interpersonal dynamics. Why do the story at all? I don't get it.
Do you think Tom King was inspired by like that kind of stuff? And it's like Booster's like, I want to try and save his parents, like, because that's the big.
But the thing is,
Booster
we
was not a
never...
fucking character in this fucking story yet, though. Like, this is how you introduce him in this fucking story.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I understand that, but Booster doesn't say like, I've tried to do good and I failed. He keeps saying like, I got you a gift. Isn't it great? Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Like, he never actually like. That's one of my favorite Booster Gold stories. Is him repeatedly trying to save Barbara Gordon because Ted Kord like respected her more than anything, and it was like to honor him or whatever.
Yeah.
But like he keeps trying and he keeps failing, and he tries like 1,000 times or something, and he can't do it, and he's like beating himself up about it. And here he's celebrating it. Like, he says it's awesome that Green Lantern kills himself in front of him. Like, you never see any of that conflict.
Yeah, and that's the
yeah.
Booster I like, is the one that it's like he has this amazing power, but he can't do anything with it type of a deal. Like, you couldn't save Ted's life.
Yeah, and that's much more interesting than like, I fucked it up. Why aren't you like? He fucks it up, and then he's like, I did the best thing. Why aren't you grateful for it?
Yeah, it's like Tom King wants him to be like so in like, yeah, I'm just this crazy jack guy. It's like, yeah, dude, whatever. Like, I'm so like energetic that he's repressing every negative feeling and emotion in event.
And if you're gonna use a rebooted Booster, that's fine to have an early time traveler trying to figure out the ways of it.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't work if you're gonna mention like, I failed my best friend who's dead. Isn't it awesome?
It's funny too, because this could turn into an interesting story that he's repressing everything, but we read that story and it was not good.
Yeah, I can see now after reading this why Harley and Booster are analogs in the Heroes in Crisis, because he literally is just like female or male Harley.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for either of them in that story.
And so that means female Harley and
Female Harley.
I mean, Harley and Booster, as written by Tom King, are the worst characters ever written by any human being ever. So,
I mean, I have rarely seen a writer use a character so poorly as I think Tom King has with Booster Gold.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because Booster's such an interesting character that to do this to him is doing him dirty.
It makes me so happy to hear that, because I've heard you guys so often be like, I just can't get this first impression out of my head, and hearing you be like, this is a waste of the character. Like, hey,
I like Booster Gold a lot now, and reading this,
Yeah.
I was like, what a fucking asshole writer this is.
yeah.
Like, if I'm being honest, I would watch a Booster Gold like DC movie. I'd be interested in seeing how they would do that.
I would too.
More than just like another Superman movie.
They have had a Booster Gold Blue Beetle like movie like in production hell for like 10 years.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be
But-
cool. Maybe.
R.I.P. Instead, we're gonna get a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah, we experience what Sly always experienced when DC announces movies and stuff. They're like, no,
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
You guys heard about Harley Quinn?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's... Oh, and thank you guys all for supporting the Patreon drive. We probably have a lot of new people here.
Yep.
Because it was a big success. Very nice. Right, guys?
Yep.
Borat. But,
Borat.
yeah, so... I hope you guys enjoyed this Patreon episode.
I didn't.
And get ready, because we have some Edgelord August episodes coming up soon, and they're going to be great.
Woohoo!
So, for Divisive Issues, I've been Ryan.
I've been Sly.
I've been Phil.
I've been Daryl.
Stay in Patreon mode.